Alright folks, welcome back to Duty's Daggers, and it's an exciting morning because I just got to cut test one of the most highly regarded knife brands, knife makers in the whole game, in the whole world, and that is Rockstead. If you've been in the knife community for small amount of time, long amount of time, I'm sure you've probably heard of Rockstead. They are a Japanese knife maker. Their knives are made to very high standards. The blade steel here is ZDP 189, which is a very, very hard steel. The HRC it gets up to is like around 66, 67, which is crazy, crazy hard. This thing holds an edge for a very long time. It's actually a zero grind, meaning there's no edge bevel. This is the edge bevel. It goes from flat, edge bevel, down to nothing. You'll see that better in some close-ups that I'm going to show later on, or actually that you saw in the intro, I mean. The handle is titanium with some kind of, I think it's a polished sort of coating, I'm not sure. It could be an anodization too, I just don't know. It didn't say on the card, but man, look how beautiful that is. Not only the milling, but the way the light dances off the curves that are milled into the surface, absolutely incredibly beautiful. Same on the lock side. The lock bar is almost invisible in there. The pocket clip is small and works really well. This creates a tiny bit of a hot spot here, but not too bad. Jimping all over this thing. This is not only a work of art, but a fantastic cutting tool, as you're about to see. We're going to put this thing through its paces, see if it's worth all the hype that's been around this thing for years and years. It's on washers. The action is really buttery smooth. Just a hydraulic sort of feeling action. Not super fall shut or anything like that, but very, very controlled, glassy feeling. You could even see on video just how controlled and smoothly that thing just shuts. It's a pleasure. It really is a pleasure to hold and cut with. Now the geometry's on the thicker side. It almost feels like a convex grind, which it might be. So I didn't really know how it would cut. I didn't know if it would pass through that thick cardboard easily or not. I was pleasantly surprised. I'll leave it at that, and let's just get into it. And here we go. Big thanks to Diesel Body EDC for lending this to me and allowing me to cut with it. Surprisingly, he was cool with me cutting with it, so really big thanks to him. And yeah, this is very exciting. I wanted to experience one of these knives forever. Factory edge is very nice. And I just decided that I want to clean off the blade and get it real nice and shiny, and then we'll do the cut testing. And we'll see how it looks after the cut testing, and see, I'm curious to see how this mirror polish kind of cleans up, or if it, takes any scratches or anything. A couple wipe downs, and it looks very nice and reflective now. Let's get the cut-proof glove on and commence the destruction. Starting with regular thickness cardboard. Choking up into the sharpening tool choke up spot so I don't get snagged. My first thought is, yeah, this slice is better than I thought it would. Like I said, the geometry is on the thicker side. So I didn't know, but man, yeah. This thing is slicing, that is for sure. Now, I'm not sure how much of a factor this is, but it's got to contribute a little bit, is the fact that it has a mirror polish. I imagine there's less friction on that area as you're pushing through material. Probably doesn't make much of a difference, but it's got to make some difference. So it destroyed the regular thickness cardboard. Now let's try the thick stuff. Let's get ourselves off a chunk here. Let's get a smaller piece. All right, going with the grain here, the easier way. Not a problem whatsoever. It feels just like the regular cardboard. No difference, honestly. Let's try the hard way, going against the grain here. Same thing. I just got a floppy piece here. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah. the knife handled it fine. Absolutely amazingly. Got some tape gunk on there now. Utility cutting. This thing's got, pretty standard drop point blade shape. So it's not going to be incredible for utility cuts, but it'll be just fine. Just got to raise up there and get to the tip. And as I was kind of rushing through these, kind of going faster, I found that I was kind of not all the way at the tip. I was close to it, though. I kind of was able to drop down even a little bit farther than I thought I would be able to. And it was cutting just fine. Zero problems. So, yeah. Cool. Next, the glove test. Let's roll this bad boy up. Do some cutting. There's a cross section of what we're cutting through. It's cutting very well. Now this was kind of interesting. With this test, I can feel the thickness of the geometry. It feels thick, cutting the leather here. But the way that the edge was biting through it, kind of made up for it almost. It was kind of a weird feeling. It felt like it was just a little more resistance, almost like pushing a wedge through, but a very extremely sharp wedge, if that makes any sense. So it did well. It just felt thick. Weird. Interesting, yeah. But it did fine. Totally fine. Next, let's do the Cecil rope. Here we go. Let's see how it is. Yep. Pretty freaking good. On this, I didn't feel the thickness like I did on the leather. And I think that's because, there's more leather there, more thickness, so you're having to push more of the blade into it. With the Cecil rope here, it's just, a little less than a ½ inch. So it's not passing through much blade as you're cutting. And man, yeah, it's cutting very cleanly, very quickly, not leaving any strands, left over. Just quick chop, starting with the tip, rocking back, and bam, piece of cake. So far, impressive. Let's cut through this double thick section of strap here. It's kind of an interesting test. If a knife is on the duller side, you get a lot of fraying. The cleaner the cut, it seems, the sharper the knife. And this was pretty good considering compared to some other knives. Just a little fraying. How about some of this really thick, very hard rubber hose? Or plastic hose, I guess you'd say. I think it's an air hose. boop, they went flying. I just started using this in the cut testing, so, you know, I don't have a whole lot of other knives to compare it to yet, but as I keep using it in the tests, you know, that will continue to grow, and I think it's a good test. The 2-inch heavy-duty strap, will it get through with one cut? Let's see. Woo! Not a problem. And it was so easy, too. It was surprisingly easy. Sometimes, most of the time, if I want to get all the way through, I got to put some muscle into it. Not this one, man. It was really, really, really easy to do this. You can see just, you know, by my body language. I'm doing a 4th one just because it's so fun. Crazy. That's definitely, this knife is definitely in the top 5 of all the knives I've tested in that category, in the strap category. Definitely top 5. What else is in the top 5? I don't remember all of them, but the Manix 2 and 15V is in there. The Nightshade is also in there. Let's cut some wood, do some whittling just to see how the ergos are. And man, is it biting into this wood. Gosh. Now the clip is a little bit of a hot spot. We're on that tip where it swoops up, but not too bad. Overall, the knife is pretty comfortable. It's not like hand melting or anything. If I had to sit and do this kind of stuff, this whittling for like an hour, it wouldn't, you know, your hand would start hurting in some spots for sure. But it's definitely not bad. I wouldn't say it's an ergonomic masterpiece, though. But the way it was biting into the wood, that was very nice. Getting some nice shavings off of there. So let's see what the blade looks like now. Lots of gunk on it, and I want to see how quickly and easily this cleans up. And it looks like very quickly and very well is the answer to that question. Check that out. Woo, baby. Yeah, this stuff is so hard. I saw Metal Complex cut through an aluminum can with his Rockstead, and you know your brain wants to say, "Oh, that's gonna put scratches on the mirror finish," but no, it didn't. Aluminum is much softer than this ZDP 189, so it just it can't affect it. And our edge is still really good. It might have gotten very slightly duller since the cutting, but man, it's hard to tell. It's still very sharp. This is a knife you could probably go a very long time without needing to sharpen. And when you do need to sharpen this knife, unless you're an expert with sharpening these kinds of blades, you just send it back to Rockstead. That's part of their warranty. They will do it for you. I'm not even sure, you know, I've never stropped something like this. I've heard that you're supposed to use denim instead of leather and use metal polish instead of the diamond compounds. So I just didn't even want to mess with it. I would hate to put scratches in this, so I'm not even going to do it. But man, this thing is, it's impressive. Not only is it, you know, kind of a luxury item, classy, beautiful, a work of art, but it's also a really great precision cutting tool. It really is. I was kind of surprised, to be honest. I figured it would cut well, but not quite this well. They have really thought out a lot, you know, everything about this knife. So it's very expensive, but man, it sure is great. So that's it. Please like the video before you leave. That would help me out a lot. And I love you guys very much. I'll see you soon.